The horror! The horror!
This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper.
The more a thing is perfect, the more it feels pleasure and pain.
The Heart of Darkness, Hollow Men, and Dante's Inferno have several comparative themes and underlying meanings, but each work has an entirely different way of conveying it.
This video will be analyzing the following three texts to show the connection between these literary pieces: Heart of Darkness, The Hollow Men, Inferno. Joseph Conrad explores many themes in the novel The Heart of Darkness.
The heart is used to represent the core that is comprised of human qualities, but in the novel this is hard to see, thus the thin red line. The black is the core of the heart, representing the darkness within.
The themes that are prevalent throughout the text include evil, oppression, greed, racism, superiority, and slavery.
Darkness is a symbol that constitutes the novel Heart of Darkness. This quote entails the truth behind the darkness, as well as connects the darkness in the Congo. Darkness. The true darkness is not the absence of light. It is the conviction that the light will never return.
The Heart of Darkness follows the journey of Marlo, a wanderer who seeks to venture into the unknown through the Congo River. The title stands to represent the primitive darkness such as greed, hatred, and selfishness that every person possesses deep within. A person is constrained by societal boundaries and chooses how and when their primal instincts are expressed. During his voyage, Marlo learns about oppression and slavery from the perspective of the native Africans. He also discovers the hypocrisy of Western colonization and the impacts of it on the native society. The novel is a literary representation of the author Joseph Conrad's experiences and feelings when he himself voyaged in the Congo. Marlo and him are essentially the same person. The author's negative viewpoints on European culture and greed are expressed through the protagonist in this text.
A major theme that connects The Hollow Men, The Heart of Darkness, and Dante's Inferno is exile, which is the state of being buried from one native country, typically for political or punitive reasons. The Hollow Men is a poem that describes creatures too timid to take a side when it comes to morality, hence the angel and the devil on his shoulders. Moreover, in Dante's Inferno, it is explained that some souls can be accepted into neither hell nor heaven. They are not evil, but they are not inherently good either. Not choosing good or evil is equivalent to not choosing good, which means defaulting to evil. The hollow men are turned a blind eye and could never enter heaven as a result. A significant quote in The Heart of Darkness that was mentioned in the beginning is, "This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper." T.S. Eliot. This quote ties in with the idea of substance and possessing a true purpose. Our condition as human beings is critical, and our actions will result in tragedy if we cannot prevent ourselves from being the hollow men, the stuffed men.
Dante's Inferno is an epic poem that discusses the idea of purgatory among other things. It is about the titular character Dante and the ancient Roman poet Virgil through hell. Hell in this poem is depicted as a place with 9 circles of torment. It is the first part of the Divine Comedy poem by Dante Alighieri. In the first part, the 9 circles are limbo, lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and treachery. The second part, Purgatorio, focuses more on the idea of purgatory as Dante climbs up the mountain of purgatory.
Comparing the heart of darkness with the 2 other sources reveals a deeper connection of the theme of evil.
Like mentioned, the hollow men are those who fail to choose between good and evil, hence defaulting to evil. The men are ironically hollow and stuffed at the same time, which can be interpreted as empty in emotion but stuffed with straw to provide some sort of substance. They aren't very happy, but they manage to support each other. This is somewhat similar to the slaves in the Heart of Darkness. In fact, almost all characters in the novel would be considered as hollow men.
We are the hollow men. We are the stuffed men, leaning together, headpiece filled with straw, alas. This can be interpreted as stuffed with straw, but hollow in heart. The support comes from the text, leaning together.
In Dante's Inferno, Dante and Virgil go through hell and climb up the mountain of purgatory. Along the way, they meet hollow men who were cast to hell. However, they also see hollow men at the mountain of purgatory. Therefore, the characters in the novel are as bad as the hollow men in hell and purgatory, as they do not make the choice of being good or evil.
Like mentioned before, in the Heart of Darkness, almost every single character is mentioned as a hollow man. For example, the accountant, the Russian, they don't have specific names, they're just called by their position. While Kurtz, on the other hand, follows evil to the very end.
The main question is, what is the relevance of these 3 texts to our lives today?
There is so much evil in this world, and we observe examples of it every day through the power of the media and public awareness. But how many of us actually take action to save the victims of these sins?
The Bible says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." This quote teaches to have kindness and love for one's neighbor in order to gain the love of God. Yet there are so many situations in this world that need the attention of everyday citizens that go unnoticed.
A prime example of this would be the current situation of the social status of women in Somalia. It is said that residing in Somalia is a living hell for a woman. Females cannot drive, divorce, make contracts, or even enter certain areas. They also must adhere to a strict dress code and are denied education and healthcare at most times. The most debilitating of these living conditions is female genital mutilation. 98% of females in Somalia are subject to this, the highest statistic in the world. And by not choosing to actively aid and take action to support these women and this society, we ourselves are given into the reaches of darkness and failing to carry each other's burdens. By not picking good or evil, we are the hollow men.
This video was a visual representation of how the Heart of Darkness, Hollow Men, and Dante's Inferno connect and apply to our 21st century with the example of Somalia.
The novel of focus was The Heart of Darkness. In this novel, it takes the reader on a spiritually awakened journey. Thus, we leave it at this. The mind of man is capable of anything. By yours truly, Joseph Conrad.
The end.